Ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about looking better than other women, it's not about arrogance, vanity, or reducing your worth to appearances. It's about cultivating a deeper understanding of beauty and recognizing that it's not merely skin deep. It's about owning who you are, refining your presence, and showing the world that you're someone who values herself. True beauty emerges from a life well lived, from discipline, self-respect, and the confidence that comes from striving to be better not for anyone else but for yourself. The world, you see, is filled with distractions and false standards. We're inundated with artificial images, unattainable ideals, and fleeting trends that pull us away from what truly matters. The task before you is not to mimic others, but to define and embody a version of beauty that is distinctly yours. And let me tell you, when you do this, you not only look better, you become better. This isn't a shallow pursuit. It's an act of responsibility. A commitment to presenting yourself as the best version of who you are. Your outward appearance reflects your inner life. When you stand tall, dress intentionally, and radiate confidence, you signal to the world that you are a force to be reckoned with. You say, "I'm here, and I'm worthy." This speech will not only explore practical habits, but also dive into the psychology of beauty and attraction, uncovering why the most magnetic women are those who cultivate their inner and outer selves in harmony. When we consider the notion of looking better than others, the very first step is to confront a truth that many avoid. Your unique individuality is your most potent asset. In a world obsessed with trends, conformity, and relentless comparison, it's easy to lose sight of who you truly are. But here's the paradox: the more you strive to imitate others, the less remarkable you become. To truly stand out, to truly look better, you must begin by looking inward and embracing the singular qualities that make you who you are. You see, individuality is not just some abstract ideal. It is the foundation of authenticity. And authenticity, true, unshakable authenticity, carries with it a kind of beauty that no amount of external effort can replicate. Yet, our society seems hell-bent on convincing us otherwise. Advertisements bombard us with promises that a certain product, a certain look, a certain lifestyle will unlock our worth. Social media encourages us to curate ourselves into an idealized image, often one that is not even remotely aligned with reality. The result: a race to nowhere, where everyone looks the same and no one feels truly fulfilled. Escape this trap. You must begin by asking yourself a simple yet profound question: who am I and what do I stand for? This is not a trivial inquiry. It requires courage because the answer may challenge the identity you've been projecting to the world. It demands self-reflection, the kind that forces you to confront both your strengths and your weaknesses. But it is in this process of self-discovery that you begin to uncover the aspects of yourself that are truly worth celebrating. Think about it: the most captivating individuals are those who are unapologetically themselves. They have a way of drawing others in, not because they fit some preordained mold, but because they break it. They radiate a sense of purpose, a confidence that is grounded in self-knowledge. And this confidence, born of individuality, is magnetic. It's the kind of beauty that commands attention without demanding. Let's delve deeper into why this is so. When you embrace your individuality, you communicate to the world that you are comfortable in your own skin. This comfort is contagious. People are naturally drawn to those who exude self-assurance because it provides a sense of stability in a world that often feels chaotic. By being yourself, you give others permission to do the same, creating a ripple effect of authenticity that enhances your relationships and your presence. But embracing your individuality is not just about outward confidence, it is also about alignment. When your outward appearance reflects your inner self, you achieve a harmony that is immediately recognizable. This is why style matters, not because it adheres to trends, but because it serves as an extension of your identity. The way you present yourself should tell a story, your story. It should say, "This is who I am, and I am proud of it." Of course, this process is not without its challenges. To stand out is to risk criticism. To be unique is to invite scrutiny. But here's the thing: the alternative, blending in, conforming, erasing yourself, is far worse. The price of conformity is your individuality, and with it, your potential to truly shine. You must be willing to weather the discomfort of standing out, for it is only through this discomfort that you can grow into the person you were meant to be. And let us not forget the deeper implications of individuality. To embrace your uniqueness is to fulfill a responsibility not just to yourself but to the world. Each of us has a role to play, a contribution to make. By hiding your individuality, you rob the world of the gift that only you can offer. Your uniqueness is not a liability, it is your greatest strength. As you navigate this journey, remember that individuality is not static. It is something you cultivate over time. It requires ongoing effort, introspection, and a willingness to evolve. You will face moments of doubt, times when the pressure to conform feels overwhelming. But in these moments, remind yourself of the value of standing firm in who you are. Remind yourself that true beauty is not found in comparison but in authenticity. The power of individuality lies in its ability to liberate you. It frees you from the endless cycle of comparison and allows you to focus on what truly matters, becoming the best version of yourself. This is not an easy path, but it is a rewarding one. And as you walk it, you will find that the beauty you cultivate both inside and out is not just remarkable, it is unforgettable. To speak of beauty without acknowledging discipline is to miss the heart of what makes beauty enduring. In a culture that often values instant gratification, we've lost touch with the essential truth that anything worth having, be it success, fulfillment, or even physical attractiveness, requires effort. Discipline is not merely a tool for achieving external results. It is a transformative force that shapes your character and reflects your respect for yourself and others. And when it comes to presenting yourself to the world, discipline is the foundation upon which everything else is built. Why is discipline so critical? Because beauty is not simply given, it is earned. It is not the exclusive domain of those born with certain features or body types. Instead, it is cultivated through consistent effort and intentionality. Consider this: when you look at someone who appears poised, polished, and well put together, you're not just seeing their physical attributes. You're witnessing the result of countless small decisions, the decision to rise early and exercise, to eat nourishing food instead of indulging in fleeting cravings, to maintain good posture, to care for their skin, and to dress in a way that reflects their sense of self. These are not random acts, they are acts of discipline, repeated over time. The process of grooming is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to demonstrate discipline in your life. It is a daily ritual that communicates to the world and to yourself that you are worth the time and effort it takes to care for your appearance. This isn't vanity, it's responsibility. When you take care of yourself, you signal that you value your health, your presence, and the respect of those around you. You show that you're someone who takes their life seriously, and that in itself is attractive. But grooming goes beyond the superficial. It is a practice that instills order in the chaos of life. When you wake up each morning and commit to routines, brushing your hair, washing your face, putting on clean and thoughtfully chosen clothes, you create structure in your day. This structure, however small, is a victory over disorder. It is a declaration that you are not a victim of your circumstances, but an active participant in shaping your life. And when you approach grooming with this mindset, it becomes more than a chore, it becomes a ritual of self-respect. The discipline required for consistent effort, however, extends beyond daily grooming. It encompasses every choice you make about how you present yourself to the world. Do you carry yourself with dignity, or do you slouch through life? Do you invest in quality clothing that fits well and represents your values, or do you settle for convenience and comfort at the expense of style? These decisions may seem trivial, but they are not. They are outward manifestations of your inner commitment to excellence. Discipline teaches you patience. In a world obsessed with quick fixes and instant transformations, the ability to delay gratification is a rare and valuable trait. True beauty is not something that can be achieved overnight. It is the result of cumulative effort. Whether you're working to improve your physical fitness, refine your sense of style, or cultivate a radiant complexion, the results come slowly. But when they do, they are all the more meaningful because you've earned them. Discipline also builds resilience. There will be days when you don't feel like putting in the effort, when the temptation to let things slide feels overwhelming. But discipline is the ability to act in alignment with your goals even when you don't feel like it. It is the quiet voice that says, I will show up for myself today, no matter what. And every time you honor that voice, you strengthen your resolve. You prove to yourself that you are capable of doing hard things, and that confidence carries over into every area of your life. Let us also consider the deeper implications of discipline. When you commit to caring for yourself, you set a standard for how others should treat you. You demonstrate that you value yourself enough to invest time and effort into your well-being. This self-respect becomes a magnet for others who recognize and appreciate your worth. People are drawn to those who radiate self-assurance, and discipline is the foundation of that radiance. But discipline is not just about doing, it is also about being. It is about showing up as your best self, not for the approval of others, but as an act of integrity. When you discipline yourself to present the best version of who you are, you align your outward appearance with your inner values. And in doing so, you create harmony, a harmony that is as beautiful as it is rare. The truth is, discipline is not easy. It requires sacrifice, effort, and a willingness to confront your own weaknesses. But it is through discipline that you discover your strength. And as you commit to the daily practices that refine your appearance and your character, you will find that the beauty you cultivate is not only external but deeply rooted in who you are. If you truly want to look better than others, it isn't enough to focus solely on the physical, or even the disciplined habits of grooming and style. Those things are foundational, yes, but they are only the surface. To truly captivate and leave a lasting impression, you must cultivate emotional intelligence, a depth of understanding and empathy that resonates far beyond appearances. Emotional intelligence is the force that transforms beauty from something fleeting to something profoundly enduring. It is what gives your presence weight, meaning, and magnetism. What is emotional intelligence? At its core, it is the ability to understand and manage your emotions while also perceiving and respecting the emotions of others. It is about being attuned not only to yourself but to the people around you. This attunement creates a sense of connection, and connection is one of the most powerful forces in human interaction. Without it, even the most striking physical beauty can come across as hollow or inaccessible. We live in a society that undervalues emotional intelligence. We are told to prioritize ambition, independence, and external markers of success. And while those things have their place, they are not sufficient to foster genuine relationships or to make an impression that lingers in the hearts and minds of others. Emotional intelligence fills the gap. It brings warmth to strength, vulnerability to confidence, and humanity to achievement. It is what allows you to be seen not just as attractive but as deeply compelling. Developing emotional intelligence begins with self-awareness. You must understand your own emotional landscape, your triggers, your strengths, your securities. This requires honesty, which can be uncomfortable. It is far easier to distract yourself with superficial concerns than to confront the underlying fears or patterns that shape your behavior. But without self-awareness, you cannot hope to navigate the complexities of your own emotions, let alone those of others. To look better than others, in the most meaningful sense, is to embody the kind of self-possession that comes from knowing who you are. Self-awareness, however, is only the beginning. Emotional intelligence also requires self-regulation, the ability to manage your emotions in a way that aligns with your values and goals. This does not mean suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. On the contrary, it means acknowledging them, understanding them, and choosing how to respond. When you master this skill, you develop a calm and composed presence that is undeniably attractive. People are drawn to those who can remain steady in the face of chaos, who exude a quiet confidence that says, "I can handle whatever comes my way." Important is empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Empathy is the bridge that connects you to the people around you. It allows you to step outside of yourself and truly see someone else, not just as a means to an end, but as a person with their own experiences, struggles, and dreams. When you cultivate empathy, you create a space where others feel safe, valued, and understood. And that space is magnetic. It is what makes you memorable, not just for how you look, but for how you make others feel. But empathy alone is not enough. Emotional intelligence also involves social skills, the ability to navigate relationships, communicate effectively, and inspire trust. This is where many people falter. They may be empathetic in private, but struggle to express themselves in a way that fosters connection. Developing social skills requires practice. It means learning to listen more than you speak, to ask questions that go beyond surface-level small talk, to find common ground even in disagreement. These skills are not innate, they are learned. And when you master them, You enhance your presence in a way that no physical attribute can replicate. The beauty of emotional intelligence is that it creates a feedback loop. The more you invest in understanding yourself, the better you become at understanding others. The better you understand others, the more meaningful your connections become. And the more meaningful your connections, the more confident and radiant you feel. This radiance is not something you can fake. It is a byproduct of authenticity, and authenticity is the foundation of true beauty. Let's not overlook the role of emotional resilience in all of this. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and disappointments. How you respond to these moments says more about you than any outward appearance ever could. Emotional resilience is the ability to face adversity with grace, to learn from your mistakes, and to move forward with hope. It is what allows you to remain grounded even when the world feels unsteady. And that groundedness is incredibly attractive. It tells others that you are not easily shaken, that you are someone they can rely on, someone who brings stability to their lives. Emotional intelligence is about balance. It is about integrating your emotions with your intellect, your empathy with your boundaries, your authenticity with your aspirations. This balance creates a sense of harmony within yourself, and that harmony is what makes you magnetic. It is what elevates you from someone who is merely noticed to someone who is truly remembered. And as you cultivate this aspect of yourself, you will find that the beauty you project is not just skin deep, it is a reflection of the depth and richness of your character. When we consider the concept of looking better than others, we often focus on results, the polished appearance, the effortless charisma, the poised demeanor. But what underpins all of that is something far less glamorous: discipline and consistency. These are the cornerstones of any lasting transformation, and they are the unsung heroes of personal growth. Without them, any beauty you cultivate, physical, emotional, or intellectual, is destined to be fleeting. Discipline and consistency are the threads that weave the fabric of a radiant identity, one that stands the test of time and circumstance. Discipline is not an inherent trait, it is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. Yet many people shy away from it because it is uncomfortable. Discipline requires effort, sacrifice, and the willingness to delay gratification. It demands that you confront your own weaknesses and shortcomings. This is not easy, but it is necessary. To look better than others, not in a competitive sense, but in the pursuit of excellence, you must cultivate the discipline to do what is difficult but meaningful. You must commit to the daily practices that align with your values and aspirations, even when motivation wanes or distractions tempt you. Consistency amplifies the power of discipline. It is not enough to act with discipline once or twice or even occasionally. True transformation requires sustained effort over time. This is where many people falter. They start strong but lose momentum, either because they expect instant results or because they lack a clear vision of what they are working toward. But consistency is the antidote to impatience and uncertainty. It is the quiet, persistent force that turns small actions into profound change. When you show up for yourself day after day, you build a foundation that cannot be easily shaken. Consider how this applies to physical appearance, which is often the most visible aspect of how we present ourselves to the world. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle, for example, is not about crash diets or sporadic workouts. It is about the disciplined and consistent choices you make every day, choosing nutritious foods, staying active, prioritizing rest. These choices may seem mundane in the moment, but over time they create a vitality and confidence that no shortcut can replicate. This principle extends to every area of life. Whether it's your relationships, your career, or your personal development, the discipline to make intentional choices and the consistency to follow through are what set you apart. But discipline and consistency are not merely about external habits, they also shape your internal world. They cultivate a sense of self-respect and integrity. When you honor your commitments to yourself, you send a powerful message to your subconscious that you are capable, trustworthy, and worthy of the effort you invest. This self-respect radiates outward, influencing how others perceive and respond to you. People are drawn to those who exude a sense of inner stability and self-assurance. Without a clear purpose, your efforts can feel aimless or overwhelming. This is why it is essential to define your values and goals. What kind of person do you want to be? What do you want to contribute to the world? What legacy do you want to leave behind? When you have a compelling vision, discipline and consistency become not burdens but tools that help you bridge the gap between who you are and who you aspire to be. They give your actions meaning, and meaning is the fuel that sustains long-term effort. One of the most common obstacles to discipline and consistency is perfectionism. Many people believe that if they cannot do something perfectly, it is not worth doing at all. This mindset is not only unrealistic but also counterproductive. Discipline is not about being perfect, it is about being persistent. Consistency is not about never making mistakes, it is about continuing to move forward despite them. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. When you embrace this mindset, you free yourself from the paralyzing fear of failure and open yourself to the transformative power of effort. Another obstacle is the fear of judgment. In the pursuit of looking better or being better, you may worry about how others perceive your efforts. This is natural, but it is also a distraction. Discipline and consistency are not about impressing others, they are about honoring yourself. When you focus on your own growth rather than external validation, you become less concerned with comparison and more attuned to your own journey. Paradoxically, this self-focus makes you more attractive to others because it reflects confidence and authenticity. It is also worth noting that discipline and consistency are not solitary pursuits. They are often supported by the people you surround yourself with. Seek out individuals who inspire and challenge you, who hold you accountable to your potential. These relationships provide a sense of community and encouragement that makes the path of discipline more manageable and rewarding. Discipline and consistency are acts of self-love. They are the ways in which you show yourself that you matter, that your goals and dreams are worth the effort. They are not always glamorous or exciting, but they are profoundly impactful. And as you cultivate these qualities, you will find that your beauty, both inner and outer, becomes not just a reflection of who you are, but a testament to the effort and intention you have invested in becoming your best self. When we think about looking better than others, we might focus on the surface style, grooming, or physical fitness. But what truly sets someone apart, what makes their presence magnetic and their beauty enduring, is not merely what is on the outside. It is the strength that radiates from within. Inner strength is the foundation upon which all external beauty rests, and it is this strength that captivates others in ways that superficial attributes never can. Without inner fortitude, external beauty is fragile, fleeting, and ultimately hollow. Inner strength is not a given. It is cultivated through challenges, reflection, and personal growth. It begins with the ability to know yourself. Most people live their lives caught in a fog of distraction, disconnected from their core values and their deeper purpose. They chase external validation, hoping that it will fill the void within them. But this is a losing battle because the admiration of others can never replace the satisfaction that comes from self-respect and self-mastery. To develop inner strength, you must first confront the question, who am I? What do I stand for? This process requires brutal honesty. It requires that you face your weaknesses, your fears, and the areas where you fall short. This is not a comfortable task, but it is necessary. Inner strength is not about pretending to be perfect. It is about acknowledging your imperfections and choosing to grow anyway. It is about saying, this is where I struggle, and this is what I'm doing about it. People admire and are drawn to those who have the courage to confront their flaws and the determination to improve. Once you have begun the journey of self-awareness, the next step is to align your actions with your values. Inner strength comes from integrity, from the knowledge that you are living in accordance with your principles. When your words and actions reflect your deepest beliefs, you create a sense of harmony within yourself that is deeply attractive to others. This authenticity is rare in a world where so many people wear masks, hiding their true selves out of fear or insecurity. But authenticity is magnetic because it is real. It invites others to trust you, to respect you, and to admire you not just for how you look, but for who you are. Inner strength is also about resilience, the ability to face adversity and emerge stronger. Life is unpredictable and everyone faces challenges and setbacks. The question is not whether you will encounter difficulty, but how you will respond to it. Those who crumble under pressure, who give up when things get hard, reveal a fragility that undermines any external beauty they may possess. But those who persevere, who find a way to overcome obstacles and grow from their experiences, radiate a strength that is undeniably attractive. Resilience is a testament to your character, and it speaks louder than any words ever could. Another aspect of inner strength is emotional maturity. This means taking responsibility for your emotions rather than letting them control you. It means learning to manage your anger, your fear, and your sadness in ways that are constructive rather than destructive. Emotional maturity also involves empathy, the ability to understand and connect with the feelings of others. This does not mean sacrificing your own needs or boundaries, but it does mean recognizing that your actions affect those around you. When you approach others with compassion and understanding, you create connections that enhance your beauty in ways that no physical attribute ever could. Inner strength also manifests as confidence, but not the kind of confidence that is loud or boastful. True confidence is quiet, grounded, and unshakable. It comes from the knowledge that you are capable of handling whatever life throws at you. It is the kind of confidence that allows you to walk into a room without needing to dominate it, to speak your mind without needing everyone to agree with you, and to pursue your goals without needing constant reassurance. This quiet confidence is deeply appealing because it reflects a sense of security that others often lack. Developing inner strength is not a one-time achievement, it is a lifelong journey. It requires daily effort and consistent practice. It requires that you push yourself out of your comfort zone, that you take risks, and that you embrace failure as an opportunity to learn. It also requires self-care, not in the superficial sense of pampering yourself, but in the deeper sense of taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. You cannot build inner strength if you are constantly neglecting yourself or depleting your energy. Inner strength enhances external beauty because it creates a sense of wholeness and self-assurance that others cannot help but notice. It gives you the ability to stand tall, to face the world with grace and determination, and to inspire others through your example. When you cultivate inner strength, you are not just improving your own life, you are also creating a ripple effect that positively impacts those around you. So, if you want to look better than others, start from within. Focus not just on what you see in the mirror, but on what lies beneath the surface. Strengthen your character, align your actions with your values, and develop the resilience and confidence that come from living with integrity. When you do this, you will find that your beauty becomes not just something you wear on the outside, but something you embody in every aspect of your being. In a world that increasingly demands conformity, the courage to celebrate your individuality is not just a virtue, but a necessity. To stand apart, to honor what makes you unique is not merely an act of rebellion, it is a profound statement about the value of authenticity. Looking better than others is not about competition, it is about differentiation. It is about owning your distinctiveness unapologetically and using it to illuminate the world around you. Individuality begins with the recognition that you are not a copy. You are not a carbon print of societal expectations or a reflection of someone else's desires. You are an original, a complex, multifaceted being with your own set of talents, values, and aspirations. Yet so many people surrender this uniqueness either out of fear of judgment or the desire to fit in. They trade their authenticity for approval, not realizing that the approval they gain is often shallow and fleeting. True beauty, the kind that captivates and inspires, is rooted in self-awareness and self-expression. To celebrate your individuality, you must first confront the tendency to compare yourself to others. Comparison is a thief, it steals joy, confidence, and focus. When you measure yourself against others, you diminish your own worth. You overlook the fact that you are running a race that is uniquely yours, on a path that no one else can walk. It is easy to fall into the trap of envy or inadequacy when you see someone else's achievements, but you must remember their success does not diminish your potential. In fact, it has nothing to do with you at all. Instead of comparing, focus on cultivating your own gifts. What are you passionate about? What skills come naturally to you? What can you contribute to the world that no one else can? These are not questions to answer casually. They require deep reflection. They demand that you silence the noise of external opinions and tune into the quiet voice of your inner self. When you discover and develop your unique abilities, you set yourself apart in a way that no superficial enhancement ever could. Celebrating individuality also means embracing your imperfections. Society often pressures us to project an image of flawless perfection, but this is an illusion. No one is perfect, and pretending to be is both exhausting and unfulfilling. True confidence comes not from hiding your flaws, but from owning them. It comes from saying, yes, I am imperfect, and I am proud of the progress I am making. People are drawn to authenticity because it is relatable. When you embrace your imperfections, you give others permission to do the same. Another key aspect of individuality is the courage to stand by your values, even when they go against the grain. It is easy to conform to popular opinions or to follow trends without question. But true individuality requires discernment, the ability to think critically and to make choices that align with your principles. This does not mean being contrarian for the sake of it. It means having the strength to stay true to what you believe, even when it is inconvenient or unpopular. Individuality is not a static quality, it is dynamic. It evolves as you grow and learn. Celebrating your individuality means being open to change, to discovering new aspects of yourself and incorporating them into your identity. It means being curious about the world and about yourself, constantly seeking to expand your horizons. This growth mindset is not only attractive but also deeply fulfilling. It allows you to adapt to new challenges and opportunities while remaining grounded in your core values. The challenge of individuality is that it often comes with resistance. The world may try to pigeonhole you, to label you in ways that limit your potential. You will encounter people who misunderstand you, who criticize you for not conforming to their expectations. But this resistance is a sign that you are doing something meaningful. It is a sign that you are not simply blending into the background, but standing out in a way that matters. To navigate this resistance, you must cultivate resilience. You must learn to differentiate between constructive criticism and baseless negativity. Take feedback seriously, but do not let it define you. Remember that the opinions of others, while sometimes valuable, are not the ultimate measure of your worth. Only you can determine that. Individuality is not just about self-expression, it is about contribution. Your uniqueness is not an end in itself, but a means to make the world a better place. When you celebrate your individuality, you inspire others to do the same. You create a ripple effect, encouraging people to embrace their authenticity and to contribute their own gifts to the world. In this way, your individuality becomes a source of beauty, not only for yourself, but for everyone you encounter. Celebrate your individuality is to say, this is who I am, and I am enough. It is to reject the pressure to conform and to honor the unique combination of qualities that make you, you. This is not an easy path, but it is a rewarding one. It is the path that leads to true confidence, true beauty, and true fulfillment.